The silver disc-shaped spacecraft descended through Earth's atmosphere on a clear morning in 2089. News cameras from around the world captured the moment when humanity officially learned they were not alone in the universe. The ship landed gently on the wide lawn in front of the United Nations headquarters in New York, its metallic surface reflecting the sunlight. World leaders gathered as the ship's ramp extended downward. Two alien species emerged: the tall, elegant Echlorians with their blue skin and the muscular, reptilian Vargans. They introduced themselves as representatives of the Galactic Council, an alliance of 27 advanced species. "We welcome humanity as a protected species under Council law," said Ambassador Zixul, the Echlorian leader. His voice sounded melodic through the translation device. "We offer technology sharing and protection as you join the galactic community." Many celebrated this momentous occasion, but Commander Olivia Bennett watched the broadcast from her office at United Space Command with a frown on her face. At 42, Bennett had spent her career developing Earth's modest space defenses. Something about the aliens' arrival seemed too convenient. They just happened to show up now, right as we develop our first faster-than-light prototype, she said to her assistant. 3 days later, Bennett met with Dr. Alan Murphy in a secure underground facility. Murphy was a physicist with wild gray hair and tired eyes from too many late nights studying the stars. "The data doesn't add up, Commander," Murphy said, pointing to readings on his screen. "Our deep space sensors detected unusual activity at the edge of our solar system for months before their arrival. They were watching us." Bennett leaned closer. "And now? Resource extraction ships. Big ones. Near Neptune." Murphy pulled up thermal images showing massive vessels harvesting gases from the outer planets. When Earth's newly formed diplomatic team raised these concerns at the next meeting, Ambassador Zixul simply smiled. Under Council law, resource extraction in pre-spacefaring species systems is permitted as part of the protection agreement, he explained smoothly. "The resources fund your defense and technological development." Bennett stood up despite the diplomatic team's warnings not to make waves. "But we weren't asked. And those ships were here before you even contacted us." The ambassador's smile didn't reach his eyes. "We've been monitoring Earth for your protection for some time. The formal introduction was merely a formality once you reached an appropriate development stage." Later that week, Bennett received classified files from Susan Harris, an intelligence officer who had managed to copy data from the alien systems. The files revealed the truth. Earth wasn't being welcomed as an equal. It was being colonized. "Look at their classification for us," Harris pointed out. "Resource-rich developing world with physically adaptable but politically fractured native species. We're just another acquisition to them." Bennett gathered Murphy and other trusted officials in a secure room deep underground where they couldn't be monitored. "We need to understand what they really want," Bennett said. "And we need our own technology they don't control." Murphy cleared his throat. "I've been working on something. A particle interaction between dark matter and normal matter that produces massive energy. If I'm right, it could change everything. Propulsion, weapons, shields. They'll never see it coming because they don't think we're capable of this level of physics." "How soon can you prove the concept?" Bennett asked. 6 months for proof, maybe 5 years for applications, but we'll need absolute secrecy." Bennett nodded slowly. "Then that's what they'll get. As far as the Council knows, we're grateful children receiving their gifts. Meanwhile, we prepare." As they left the meeting, Bennett looked up at the night sky, where several Council ships now orbited Earth. The stars beyond them suddenly seemed both more promising and more threatening than ever before. Humanity had joined the galactic community, but not on the terms they had hoped. The real work was just beginning. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, Dr. Alan Murphy hunched over his equipment. The research facility had been built in secret, funded by resources diverted from other military projects. Outside, constant snowstorms provided natural cover from the prying eyes of Council satellites. "Try it again," Murphy said to his team of scientists. They activated the particle accelerator. A beam of modified particles crashed into a chamber containing what appeared to be empty space. But Murphy knew better. That chamber held a concentrated pocket of dark matter, invisible to normal sensors, but making up about 27% of the universe. The monitoring equipment suddenly spiked. Energy readings went off the charts, and yet the radiation levels remained minimal. "We did it," whispered Kate Williams, Murphy's assistant. "The reaction is stable." Murphy nodded, his eyes wide with excitement. "This changes everything. The energy output is 10 times what we predicted." He sent a secure message to Commander Bennett, now Admiral Bennett after her promotion. "Breakthrough achieved. Project Dawn is viable." Across the world in a glass tower that housed the Council's diplomatic mission, Susan Harris walked calmly through the alien corridors. As an intelligence officer assigned to work with the Council as a human liaison, she had carefully built trust with the aliens over the past 2 years. When the aliens left for their midday meal, she slipped into their records room. She had carefully observed the access patterns of the Xorian archivists. She had exactly 7 minutes. Harris placed a small device against the alien computer terminal. It connected, using algorithms developed by Earth's best hackers to bypass the Council's security. She downloaded classified files about Earth and other protected planets. Later that night, in a secure room, Harris showed Admiral Bennett what she had found. "This is their true assessment of humanity," Harris said, pointing to translated text on her screen. "They call us dangerous and unpredictable. They recommend resource limitation and technological suppression to keep us contained." Bennett's face hardened. So much for their gifts of technology. "There's more," Harris continued. "The technology they shared with us contains backdoors. Their faster-than-light drives have remote shutdown capabilities. Every ship we build with their tech, they can disable at will." Bennett picked up a secure phone. "Murphy needs to know about this." His project just became even more important. The next day, Council ships arrived in Earth orbit. Ambassador Zix Wool requested an emergency meeting with Earth's leaders. "For your protection, we must establish a permanent military presence on your moon," the ambassador announced. "There are dangerous elements in this sector of space." Bennett spoke up from her seat at the diplomatic table. "What dangerous elements? You told us this region was peaceful." The ambassador's face showed a flash of annoyance. "The specifics are classified under Council security protocols. But rest assured, this is for your benefit." After the meeting, President Richard Clark pulled Bennett aside. "How long until Murphy's project gives us something useful? He's made the breakthrough. Now it's about application. The energy source works. He needs 3 more years to develop propulsion systems and weapons based on the technology." The president looked up at the window where they could see a Council ship hovering above the city. "Tell him he has 18 months. I'm authorizing whatever resources he needs." 6 months later, a secret facility was constructed in the Kuiper Belt, hidden among the distant asteroids beyond Neptune. Council ships rarely patrolled this far out, focusing instead on controlling Earth's immediate orbital space. Here, using materials smuggled piece by piece past Council inspectors, humanity began building its first true independent warship. Engineers and scientists worked around the clock, applying Murphy's dark matter discovery to create engines and weapons the Council believed impossible for humans to develop. The ship began to take shape, a sleek black vessel that seemed to absorb light around it. The first of humanity's dark matter dreadnoughts was being born in secret, while on Earth, humans continued to smile and nod at their protectors from the stars. 5 years passed since humanity's first contact with the Galactic Council. On a hidden base nestled within a hollow asteroid in the Kuiper Belt, Captain John Miller walked through the massive construction bay. He looked up at the enormous black ship that hung suspended in the center. The UES Defiance was nearly complete. Its dark hull seemed to swallow the light around it. Unlike the smooth, curved ships of the Council, the Defiance had a more angular design with sharp edges that made it look aggressive and dangerous. "Beautiful, isn't she?" Dr. Murphy said, joining Miller. The scientist looked older now, with more gray in his hair and deep lines around his eyes from years of intense work. Hard to believe it's finally ready, Miller replied. At 45, he had been selected to command humanity's first dark matter-powered warship. His 20 years of space combat experience made him the natural choice. Lieutenant Carol Franklin approached them, carrying a tablet with the latest system checks. Engine tests are complete, Captain. The dark matter reactor is running at full capacity with no sign of instability. Miller nodded. And the weapons systems? Ready for final testing, Franklin said. Though I still don't understand why we built this ship in such secrecy. The Council gave us faster-than-light technology. Why not use it? Murphy exchanged a look with Miller, who gave a slight nod. It's time she knew, Miller said. Murphy led them to a secure briefing room where he pulled up schematics of Council FTL drives. Every piece of technology the Council has given us contains hidden components, Murphy explained. Their FTL drives have tracking devices and remote shutdown capabilities. Any ship built with their technology is never truly ours. They can disable it whenever they want. Franklin's eyes widened. So the Defiance is the first ship that's truly independent, Miller finished. The dark matter technology gives us engines that are faster than Council FTL drives and weapons more powerful than anything they've shown us, and they have no idea we've developed it. An alarm suddenly blared throughout the base. The communications officer's voice came over the speaker system. Council inspection vessels approaching the Kuiper Belt. Estimated arrival in 40 minutes. Miller turned to Murphy. How did they find us? They didn't, Murphy said. They conduct random surveys of the outer system every few months, but they've never come this far out before. We need to hide the Defiance, Franklin said, if they see it. No time to move it, Miller decided. The dark matter systems create a unique energy signature. They might detect it even if we hide the ship physically. Admiral Bennett's face appeared on the main screen. She had been overseeing the project from Earth, maintaining the pretense of cooperation with the Council. Captain Miller, this is our moment of truth, she said. The Defiance isn't scheduled for its first test flight for another 2 weeks, but we're out of options. Miller nodded. Are you suggesting what I think you are, Admiral? The Defiance leaves now, Bennett confirmed. Take minimal crew. Get beyond the solar system before the Council ships arrive. We'll cover for your absence here. Miller turned to Franklin. Lieutenant, assemble the emergency crew roster. Essential personnel only. Franklin saluted and rushed off to gather the crew. Murphy grabbed Miller's arm before he could follow. The weapons systems haven't been fully tested in space, the scientist warned, and the stealth capabilities are theoretical at this point. Miller gave a grim smile. Then we'll test them on the run. Better than letting the Council discover what we've built. 2 hours later, the massive bay doors on the asteroid base opened silently. The UES Defiance slipped out into space, its dark hull immediately blending into the blackness. As the Council inspection ships entered the Kuiper Belt, the human vessel activated its dark matter engines. There was no bright flare, no energy signature like conventional drives. The ship simply vanished, jumping to a speed that the Council believed impossible for human technology. Humanity's first dark matter dreadnought had begun its maiden voyage, while inside the hollowed asteroid, engineers were already working on 2 more. 3 months after the Defiance's secret launch, Ambassador Zix-Ul called for an emergency meeting with Earth's leaders. The alien diplomat's usual smooth manner was gone, replaced by a cold, businesslike tone. The Galactic Council has reviewed Earth's status, Zix-Ul announced to the assembled human representatives. As per the protection agreement, Earth must provide 60% of its mineral resources and water as membership dues. President Maria Rodriguez, a strong-willed woman with short gray hair, kept her face calm despite her shock. That would devastate our economy and environment. The original agreement mentioned 5%. Zix-Ul smiled without warmth. The terms have been adjusted based on Council needs. This is non-negotiable. As if to emphasize the point, a large view screen behind him showed a live feed from space. A Council warship fired a bright beam at a small, uninhabited island in the Pacific Ocean. The island vanished in a flash of light, leaving only steam rising from the water. A demonstration of our peacekeeping capabilities, Zixwool said. We expect Earth's compliance within 30 days. After the ambassador left, President Rodriguez called an emergency meeting in a secure underground bunker designed to block all possible Council surveillance. Admiral Bennett was there, along with key military and scientific leaders. They're not even pretending to be our friends anymore, Bennett said. Can we fight back? Asked the Secretary of Defense. What about our conventional forces? Bennett shook her head, useless against their technology. But she looked at President Rodriguez, who nodded. Bennett pressed a button, and a secure communication channel opened. Captain Miller's face appeared on screen. Report, Captain, Bennett ordered. The Defiance has successfully mapped Council territory in 3 neighboring star systems, Miller reported. We've remained undetected thanks to the dark matter shielding. He sent images showing massive Council harvest fleets stripping resources from worlds with less advanced civilizations. This is their pattern. They find developing worlds, offer protection, then take everything of value. President Rodriguez leaned forward. What about our other projects? The resistance and sovereignty are complete, Bennett answered. 3 dark matter dreadnoughts, operational and ready. But only 3 against their entire fleet. The Defense Secretary questioned. Dr. Murphy, who had joined the meeting via secure link from the Kuiper Belt facility, spoke up. 3 ships with technology the Council doesn't know exists. Their sensors can't detect dark matter drives. Their shields aren't designed to stop dark matter weapons. Bennett nodded. Captain Miller has confirmed something else. The Council's peacekeeping armada is spread thin across dozens of systems. Most of their ships are resource harvesters, not warships. President Rodriguez stood up. How soon until the Council's harvest fleet arrives? 2 weeks, Miller replied from the screen. And it's much larger than what they described. They plan to take far more than 60%. Earth would be left barely habitable. The room fell silent as everyone absorbed this information. Finally, Rodriguez spoke. We've tried diplomacy. We've tried compliance. Now we fight. She turned to Admiral Bennett. What's your plan? Bennett brought up a holographic display showing the approaching Council fleet. Captain Miller has proposed a precision strike. Disable their ships without destroying them. Show strength while minimizing casualties. Can we succeed with just 3 ships? Rodriguez asked. The Defiance has already proven it can move undetected through Council space, Bennett replied. And the dark matter weapons can penetrate their shields like they don't exist. We hit them before they reach Earth. Target propulsion and weapons only. Rodriguez took a deep breath and looked around the room at humanity's leaders. We came to space hoping for friends. Instead, we found conquerors. It's time to show the Galactic Council that humans won't be harvested or controlled. She turned back to Captain Miller on the screen. You have authorization to proceed, Captain. Defend Earth. Miller saluted. Yes, Madam President. The Defiance, Resistance, and Sovereignty are moving into position now. The Council won't know what hit them. As the meeting ended, Rodriguez looked at the image of Earth displayed on the wall. Their home. Their planet. Soon to become the first world to ever successfully defy the Galactic Council. The 3 dark matter dreadnoughts moved silently through space, their black hulls invisible against the darkness between stars. They approached the Council Harvest Fleet, a collection of 30 massive ships headed toward Earth. On the bridge of the Defiance, Captain Miller studied the tactical display. The Council ships moved in a standard formation, unaware of the human vessels nearby. They have no idea we're here, Lieutenant Franklin said quietly. Their sensors show nothing. Miller nodded. Let's keep it that way until we're in position. He opened a secure channel to the other two dreadnoughts. Resistance, sovereignty, confirm your targets. Resistance ready, came the reply from Captain Eric Nelson. We'll take the ships on the left flank. Sovereignty in position, reported Captain Lisa Howard. Right flank targeted and locked. Miller took a deep breath. Remember the mission parameters. Disable, don't destroy. Target engines and weapons only. Minimize casualties. All three ships acknowledged the orders. Begin countdown, Miller said. Attack in 3, 2, 1. Execute. The three dreadnoughts decloaked simultaneously. Their dark matter weapons powered up, sending beams of energy that appeared almost black rather than the bright colors of standard weapons. The Council ships had no warning. The dark matter beams cut through their shields as if they weren't there, precisely striking engine components and weapons arrays. 10 ships were disabled in the first 15 seconds. They're trying to respond, Franklin reported, but their targeting systems can't lock onto us. Miller watched as the Council ships began firing blindly into space, hoping to hit the human vessels. Captain Howard, show them what the Sovereignty can do. On the right flank, the Sovereignty demonstrated its unique ability. The ship seemed to shimmer and then partially vanished, entering a phase state where ordinary matter passed through it. Enemy fire went straight through the vessel without causing damage. Council ships are sending distress signals, Communications Officer Peter Wright announced. Let them, Miller replied. That's part of the plan. 25 minutes later, all 30 Council Harvest ships floated helplessly in space, their engines and weapons disabled. Not one had been destroyed, though several had minor hull breaches that their crews were working to repair. Open a channel to the Council Fleet Commander, Miller ordered. A Vargan face appeared on screen, reptilian features twisted in rage and disbelief. Commander Krell Fock glared at Miller. What is this? The alien demanded. How did you bypass our shields? Those weapons are impossible. Miller kept his voice calm. Not impossible, Commander. Just beyond your understanding. This is a message from Earth. We will not be harvested or controlled. The Council will respond with overwhelming force, Krell Fock threatened. This attack was not an attack, Miller interrupted. If we wanted to destroy your ships, we would have. Instead, we disabled them. Your crews are alive. Emergency systems are functioning, but you will not reach Earth. Miller leaned forward. Tell the Council that humanity rejects their protection. We are not a resource to be harvested. We want peaceful relations, but as equals, not subjects. Krell Fock's expression shifted from anger to something like fear. What are you? Those ships, they don't register on our sensors even now. Before Miller could respond, alarms sounded on the Defiance. Council battle group approaching, Franklin reported. 12 warships, heavily armed. Miller nodded. This was expected. Send the recording of our encounter to Admiral Bennett, then prepare for Phase 2. As the Council battle group dropped out of faster-than-light travel, they expected to find disabled human ships and a harvest fleet preparing Earth for extraction. Instead, they found their own vessels floating helplessly and 3 black ships waiting for them. Council battle group commander is demanding our surrender, Wright reported. Miller smiled. Tell them. The demonstration is just beginning. The Defiance, Resistance, and Sovereignty moved in perfect formation toward the incoming warships. Their dark matter drives pulsed with power as they prepared to show the Council that humanity would not be an easy conquest. On board the lead Council warship, the alien commander watched the approaching black vessels that seemed to absorb light itself. For the first time in Council history, a superior force faced a technology they couldn't understand from a species they had underestimated. News of the human victory spread quickly through the Galactic Council's communication networks. Video footage of the dark ships that appeared out of nowhere, their strange black weapons cutting through the best Council shields, caused panic among the 27 member species. On Nexus Prime, the Council's capital world, an emergency meeting was called. Representatives from all member species gathered in the grand chamber, their voices raised in fear and anger. "How is this possible?" demanded the Croxian delegate, his 4 eyes blinking rapidly. "Humans are a primitive species." The Icthorian delegate Vosith, a high-ranking member of Ambassador Zixul's species, called for calm. "We must respond with diplomacy. These humans have shown restraint by not destroying our ships." But the Vargan military faction, led by Supreme Commander Draknir, pounded the table with a scaled fist. "They humiliated our forces. We must crush them with overwhelming power before they build more of these dreadnoughts." The council chamber erupted in shouts as ancient rivals found common cause in their fear of human advancement. Species that had fought each other for centuries now agreed on one thing: humanity was a threat to the established order. Back on Earth, Admiral Bennett watched the video feed from the battle, her face showing relief and pride. She turned to address the United Nations Security Council gathered in the underground bunker. "The first phase of our defense has succeeded," she reported. "The Council Harvest Fleet has been neutralized without loss of life on either side." "And the Council warships that arrived?" asked the French representative. Bennett's expression grew more serious. "Our dreadnoughts engaged them in a brief but intense battle. The Council retreated after losing 3 ships. The rest fled back to Council space." Dr. Murphy stepped forward. "Our dark matter technology gives us an edge they never expected. Their sensors can't track our ships effectively. Their shields can't stop our weapons. And Captain Howard's technique of phasing the Sovereignty partially out of normal space means some of their attacks simply pass through without causing damage." The room fell silent as everyone absorbed this information. Then the debate began. "We should press our advantage," argued the Russian representative. "Take the fight to them before they can adapt to our technology." "No," countered the representative from Kenya. "We should seek peace while we have leverage. We want independence, not war." President Rodriguez listened carefully to all viewpoints. Finally, she spoke. "Our goal has always been freedom, not conquest. We will offer peace, but from a position of strength." As Earth's leaders debated their next steps, Intelligence Officer Susan Harris, still undercover in the Council Diplomatic Corps, sent an urgent encrypted message to Admiral Bennett. "The Council has activated the Solaris Array." The message read, "Planet killer weapon capable of inducing solar flares that would scorch Earth's surface. Deployment in 48 hours." Bennett immediately called an emergency meeting with Rodriguez and the military command. "They're willing to destroy an entire planet rather than accept our independence," Rodriguez said, her voice tight with anger. "Can our dreadnoughts stop this weapon?" asked the defense secretary. Bennett looked to Dr. Murphy, who had been studying the information Harris had sent. "The array is positioned near the council capital," Murphy explained. "It's their most heavily defended location. But yes, theoretically, our ships could disable it using the same precision targeting they used on the Harvest Fleet." "How many dreadnoughts do we have now?" Rodriguez asked. 5, Bennett replied. "The Liberty and Justice were completed ahead of schedule when we learned about the Council's response. They're smaller than the first 3, but just as capable." Rodriguez walked to the window, looking out at the sky where Council ships still orbited Earth, watching. Citizens went about their daily lives below, unaware of how close they were to destruction. "We have no choice," she said finally. "We must strike at the heart of the Council, not for revenge, but to secure our future." She turned back to the room. "Authorization granted. Send all 5 dreadnoughts to disable the Solaris Array and bring our message directly to the Council capital." Bennett nodded grimly. "I'll give the order immediately. The Council thinks they know what humans are capable of. They're about to learn how wrong they are." No species had ever attacked the Council homeworld. In the thousands of years since the Galactic Council formed, no one had dared to challenge their power so directly. Their capital world, Nexus Prime, sat at the center of a web of defensive stations, sensor arrays, and patrol fleets. The 5 human dreadnoughts gathered at the edge of the Sol system. The Defiance, resistance, sovereignty, liberty, and justice floated in formation, their black hulls gleaming under the distant light of Earth's sun. Captain Miller addressed the crews of all 5 ships through a shared communication channel. "Today we make history," he said simply. "We're not seeking war or conquest. Our mission is to disable the Solaris array and deliver our message directly to the Council. We show them that humanity cannot be bullied or controlled." The coordinates for Nexus Prime had been provided by Susan Harris, along with the security codes that would allow the ships to bypass the outer defensive grid. It would be the most daring mission in human history. Dark matter drives engaged, Lieutenant Franklin reported from her station on the Defiance. Jump calculations complete. Miller took a deep breath. "All ships, prepare to jump on my mark. 3, 2, 1. Execute." The 5 dreadnoughts disappeared from the Sol system. Unlike conventional FTL travel, which created visible distortions in space, the dark matter drives left no trace of their passage. Across space, sensors on Nexus Prime detected nothing unusual. Council officials went about their business, confident in their overwhelming defenses and the impossibility of anyone reaching their homeworld undetected. Inside the Grand Council chamber, debate continued about the human problem. Supreme Commander Drakner was speaking, his reptilian features twisted in contempt. "The Solaris array will fire in 6 hours," he announced. "Earth will be rendered uninhabitable. Their resistance will serve as an example to any other species that might consider defying us." Ambassador Zixul's face showed concern. "Is such extreme action necessary? They disabled our ships but took care to avoid casualties." "Weakness," Drakner spat. "They should have killed when they had the chance. Now we will show them the consequence of challenging the councils." His words cut off as alarms began blaring throughout the chamber. The main viewing screen activated automatically, showing 5 black ships appearing directly within the inner defense perimeter, impossibly close to Nexus Prime. "Impossible," gasped one of the council members. "No ship could penetrate our defenses." On the Defiance, Miller ordered a broadcast on all council frequencies. His face appeared on screens across Nexus Prime and throughout the council communication network. "This is Captain John Miller of the United Earth ship Defiance. We come seeking peace, but we will not be harvested or controlled. The dark matter technology is merely the first of many breakthroughs humanity has achieved." As he spoke, the Sovereignty and Resistance broke formation, heading toward the massive Solaris Array control station, positioned in orbit above Nexus Prime. Their dark matter weapons fired with surgical precision, disabling power cores, weapon systems, and control nodes without destroying the station itself. "Your planet-killing weapon has been neutralized," Miller continued. "We could have destroyed it completely, but again, we chose restraint." In the council chamber, leaders watched in horror as their ultimate weapon went offline without being destroyed. The human ships had the power to annihilate them all, yet they had chosen precision over destruction. Ambassador Zixul suddenly stepped forward. "They're right," he announced to the shocked chamber. "We have exploited countless developing species across the galaxy. The humans are simply the first with the power to resist." He turned to face the other council members. This could change everything. For the first time, a protected species has the strength to demand fair treatment. Perhaps it's time the council reconsidered its approach. Supreme Commander Drakner drew his ceremonial weapon in rage. "Traitor, you sympathize with these humans." But others in the chamber were murmuring in agreement with Zixul. As they watched the 5 dark ships hovering over their capital world, many realized that the Council's era of unchallenged dominance had come to an end. On the Defiance, Miller received a private communication from Ambassador Zixul. "Captain, I believe it's time we discussed new terms for our relationship." 6 months after the confrontation at Nexus Prime, representatives from Earth and 12 formerly subjugated species gathered aboard the UES Sovereignty. The Black Dreadnought, once a symbol of war, now served as a diplomatic vessel. Its large command deck had been transformed into a meeting hall with a circular table where all could sit as equals. Captain Miller stood next to Admiral Bennett as delegates from across the galaxy arrived. The old Galactic Council had fractured after the events at Nexus Prime. Many species, long exploited under the protection system, had declared independence. Others had joined with Earth in forming a new alliance based on mutual respect. "Strange to see aliens walking freely on our ships," Miller commented quietly. Bennett nodded. "Strange but right. We didn't build these ships to conquer, but to ensure our freedom. Now we can help others secure theirs as well." Ambassador Zixul entered, now representing only the Xorian people rather than the Council. He had resigned his council position to advocate for reform. Behind him came representatives from worlds humans had never seen before: the blue-skinned Aquilians, the small but intelligent Vex, and others previously labeled as protected species by the Council. President Rodriguez opened the meeting. 6 months ago, Earth stood alone against exploitation. Today, we gather as free worlds to build something better. She presented the draft treaty for the new alliance. Unlike the Council's system, each member world would have equal voting rights regardless of their technological development. Resources would be traded fairly, not extracted by force, and knowledge would be shared openly. "The dark matter technology remains Earth's advantage for now," Rodriguez explained. "But we offer something more valuable, a vision of cooperation without domination." As the delegates discussed the details, Dr. Murphy entered the meeting with exciting news. "We've discovered that dark matter manipulation has applications beyond weapons and propulsion," he announced. "It could solve energy crises across multiple worlds and enable new forms of faster-than-light communication." The delegates murmured with interest. Under the old council, such technology would have been restricted to the most powerful species. Now it would benefit all. Later, as the meeting adjourned for the day, Captain Miller stood on the observation deck of the Sovereignty, watching ships from a dozen worlds maneuver around Earth's orbital stations. Lieutenant Franklin, now promoted to commander, joined him. "Did you ever imagine this when we launched the Defiance?" she asked. Miller shook his head. "I was just trying to protect Earth. I never thought we'd end up remaking galactic politics." Franklin looked out at the diverse fleet. "The Council representatives who still oppose us call our ships terror weapons, but we never used them to their full destructive potential. That was the difference, wasn't it?" "That's what makes us human," Miller replied. "We built the most powerful weapons in known space, then used them with restraint." At Earth's United Space Command headquarters, Admiral Bennett reviewed the new galactic map with Susan Harris, now appointed as Earth's head of interstellar intelligence. "We've designated these regions as protected development zones," Harris explained, pointing to former Council exploitation areas. "Any world here can develop at their own pace without interference or extraction." Bennett smiled at the small notation in the corner of the map, "Defended by the dark matter fleet." "And the former Council members who refused to join our alliance?" she asked. "They're maintaining distance for now," Harris replied. "Our technology still exceeds theirs, and they know it. The Liberty and Justice are patrolling the border regions as a reminder." On Nexus Prime, the remaining Council members watched bitterly as their influence waned. Supreme Commander Draknir had been removed from power, replaced by moderates seeking accommodation with the new alliance. "How did humans advance so quickly?" one delegate asked. "We monitored them for centuries." An elderly Xorian scientist answered, "We watched them but never understood them. We saw their divisions and conflicts as weakness. We never realized those challenges drove their innovation and adaptability." He looked at an image of the dark ships that had changed everything. "We thought we were studying them. In truth, they were surpassing us." Back on the Sovereignty, as delegates signed the new alliance treaty, Miller received a message from Earth. 2 more dark matter dreadnoughts had been completed, but they carried different equipment: scientific instruments and humanitarian supplies rather than weapons. The message ended with a note from President Rodriguez. "The dreadnoughts saved us from conquest. Now they will help build a better galaxy for all."